morning. I need to get some sort of stand or something to like hang from the ceiling to hold this phone so I don't have to. Having my cup of Folgers. And I would just like to say, yeah, it is. You all laugh at my instant coffee decision. But Vivian Howard was here and she was like, I've never had Folgers. That didn't surprise me. She was like, but it's so good. It has so much, what was the word? Something really good, like, not flavor. But she was like, see when you put the coffee in, it bubbles up. Just like that to be on the record, that Folgers is actually really good. Maybe someday I'll get to do a Folgers commercial. So it's Monday morning. I don't know what date it is. This is the last day Amos has camp with his friend, with Logan. She goes back to school tomorrow because, you know, she's a teacher. So he'll still be at camp through Thursday, but she won't be there. Hi, Ann. So I took him real early. It's just Blair and I here, and Amos. The boys have gone to Edenton to do adventure camp. I'm very excited about that. And my parents are coming today. I'm just more talking out loud to myself, which means I have to do a lot of cleanup because Amos threw all the toys off the deck yesterday into the grass. So it looks like hey, Mary Marks. It looked bad. But anyway, we're going to be trying to cook some fish and practicing the hard sear. Good morning from Pittsburgh. Okay, I would just like to say that I thought that fancy cooking was healthy. It's not. I mean, maybe I could learn it after all. Like whenever I cook in my brain, it's like to get thin. I know, that's ridiculous, but it's true. Anyway, I was like, oh, it'll be so healthy. No, it's not. It's so good, though. For the first time, I'm like, I can't go out to dinner. My pasta's better than Island Grills. My coffee real hot. So anyway, the other thing I didn't know was that, and I will say this. So Vivian is an old friend of mine. We went to Salem together, and we reconnected when we were in Wilmington at the Azalea Festival. And anyway, we just stayed in touch and talked about she doesn't get to the beach much and da-da-da. So anyway, she brought her kids to spend the night, went on the boat, made dinner, and just had a really good time. It's fun to reconnect with old friends. So she says, I don't want you to take this the wrong way. Now, you know, whenever somebody says, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, it's going to be really good. I mean, look at me. She's like filming a commercial this morning, and I was like, I'll never be in TV because TV would never let me on the TV, even though I would be so popular. I mean, people would be like, oh my God, when is she going to go get her hair done? Anyway, so she says, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but what do y'all eat? Having her in here and in my kitchen downstairs, which is basically like the kitchen of a mediocre yacht, it's very small, was like being a hoarder and having, well, let's see, I don't even know any good designers. Having some fancy schmancy interior decorator come to your house and being a hoarder. That's what having a cook is, like coming into my kitchen. And I was like, well, we eat, you know, spaghetti, dinosaur chicken. I figured I might as well just be honest. I mean, that stuff's crammed in the freezer anyway. She was like, yeah, but like, do you put stuff on? I was like, oh, there's a kitchen upstairs. That's where all the like spices are. She was like, oh, that's good. So I did round up some garlic powder, which, you know, there's a real avenue for people like me that don't cook, and y'all all might be fancy and know what clarified butter is, but I don't. Ugh. And if she could make a really good meal out of what was in my kitchen, then like I can. So anyway, I'll tell you, there's a few tricks. I was going to write a post, but that sounds silly. You cook things on very high heat. So if you're cooking fish, you're going to put it in a pan in olive oil, and you use crappy olive oil. You only use good olive oil when it's something you want to taste. Now, you're going to put in some olive oil and you put salt all over the fish before you put it in the pan. I mean, right much salt. And then after it's cooked halfway, you're going to flip it on a baking sheet and put it in the oven on 500 because you've already been cooking it on high heat. So you want to keep cooking it. Now, you put the salt on the fish right before you put it in the pan, not 15 minutes before, because that draws the moisture out of the fish, and then when you cook it, you have wet fish. I don't know what that even is, but wet fish sounds awful. Now, we also did shrimp and scallops. And you put olive oil in the skillet, get it really, really hot, right? Then and I think she put a little garlic in there. Put half the shrimp in there, cook it halfway, take it out of the pan. I might have to do a video of this. Put the rest of the shrimp in, add more garlic and something else. Oh, lemon. You're just dumping lemon on everything the whole time. And then you put in a half a stick of butter and about a cup of wine. And my husband's law partner, Nora, grows heirloom tomatoes in Gates County. So she had brought some tomatoes. So Vivian used her knife that she travels with. I did tell her she looks like a serial killer. And she diced up the tomatoes and dumped those in at the last second. And then she started stirring it like crazy. So it had butter, tomatoes, garlic, salt, and lemon. And that wine. What darn if it didn't make sauce? Okay, again, I'm just going to tell you, be real honest. When I cook, what I usually do is I cook something, and then I dump a jar of sauce on it. I didn't know people made sauce in the actual dish. I mean, I've made like baked potato sauce, which is mayonnaise, Parmesan cheese, onion, and butter. But this was like accidental sauce. It's so good. So last night we added pasta to it and more shrimp. Lisa, my Richmond neighbor, who's like my sister that I didn't have, she did it. She read Vivian's cookbook all day yesterday. Anything else? Nope. So that's my cooking. I'm a cook. Today I reheated sausage balls that Grandpa made. Now, let's see. We talked about cooking. Oh, this is a big one. Ooh, big deal in Chowan County this morning. Teacher letters go out today. I need to ask my neighbor, who I know is not watching this, Grace, to go check my mailbox. Now, I've heard in big cities like Wake County, Raleigh, they don't get their teacher letters until like the day before school. And some places don't even find out until they go to open house. Actually, that's not a bad idea. It probably keeps people from complaining. Usually the teacher letters, I thought people got on Saturday, but I haven't seen anything on Facebook about it. If I were the school, I would do it on a Saturday too, because then people could call and bitch me out. So anyway, no one complain. Everyone settle down. When you get your teacher letters, you're going to be fine. Have a good attitude. And be nice to your teachers. They're getting ready to go back. They feel like their summer's been short too. They're tired. It's exhausting. Okay, let's see. What else? Honduras. Oh, what are teacher letters? You find out who your child's teacher is going to be. Now, Desiree Zapata Miller. Do y'all know who she is? Our school is not open until open house. No sending teacher letters home saves drama and money on stamps. Well, you know what I can tell y'all are interested in this conversation. You know what they used to do in Edenton? Which I wasn't there for this. They just put the class list in the darn paper. I love that. That's so smart. Anyway. Oh, I met the nicest teacher at Camp Albemarle the other day. Of course, I love a teacher. I was just thinking today, I need to go over to Moorhead Elementary, primary, and visit. I know who Amos's teacher is because that gets decided at the IEP meeting. Julie Privet, we're very excited. And then he'll be with his teacher from last year, Katina, an hour each afternoon, which he'll like. So it's kind of a big deal. He's going to be in a class with all these typical kids this year. So we're really excited and hopeful. And I'll tell you, it's kind of scary, though. Much easier to just to let him stay in Katina's class. It would have been easier. He's happy. He likes it. But you know, there's never a good chance to jump off a cliff. And how do you know what's below if you don't jump? So we're going to jump. As Amos gets older and he develops more, he's still further and further from his peers in different ways. So we kind of feel like now is the best time for him to do some things when there's not such a big divide. In fact, I was saying, little Thomas, hey, Nicole, at the pool yesterday, I said, oh, crap, I got to sign y'all up for soccer. But I don't think I'm going to have Amos play. I have a busy fall. I'm not gone as much. Like, I'm only gone once a month. But when I go, I have like 3 events each time. And so it's busy for me. So it's like basically putting in a month of work into a long weekend. Just getting ready and stuff like that. So that being said, taking Amos to soccer is exciting. Oh, my friend Bess is watching. It was her little boy that had the birthday party where the policemen were. Bess, I'm really disappointed that we missed that. But anyway. The soccer. And I was thinking, him playing soccer and our rec department person, Shannon Ray, said, let's talk about getting a program together so kids with special needs can play sports more, which I really want to do because some communities do that. You sign up and they have maybe the Ruritans. That's what they do. And they get assigned to a child and do the practices with them and everything. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that would be so great. Because if not, it's me. And I don't mind doing it. But Scott missed us too. But the point of the whole thing is for Amos to not need me, especially because I'm his person, and do things without me. Not that it's somebody else's responsibility. And the last part, which is just a teeny bit prideful, and it's not nearly the biggest point, is me running around on a field trying to steer Amos towards that damn goal. I mean, it's downright humiliating, but it's funny. I mean, you all wonder why I have no pride left. You spend a week with him on a soccer field. It's all gone. You're over. Your hair, black roots, you don't care. This morning he got on the potty, which she's really good about going to the potty. Really good might be a stretch, but he got on the potty, and I wasn't paying attention. And I mean, pee shot out and like hit me, not in the face, but in the shirt, which I hadn't even changed. It dried. Now, this is an interesting news story. I haven't watched the news. You know, it's entertaining and worrying about my moldy hamburger rolls flying out of cabinets. In Pawleys Island, have y'all heard about the Gray Man? He's kind of a ghost type person. And before Hazel and Hurricane Hugo, if he appears to you, your house gets spared. And I mean, so there was this elderly couple, before Hugo walking on the beach, and this fellow was walking towards them, and they said, well, hi, you know, because you speak, and he was gone. And they were like, we didn't even know it was the Gray Man. Oh, look, Sheila knows about the Gray Man. The Gray Man is so interesting. So their house, after Hurricane Hugo, their whole neighborhood was destroyed, and they had video. And then there's their house. You know what had happened to it? The door had blown open. And then there was this house during Hazel, and they showed pictures of that. The damn towels were still hanging on the deck. Hazel. Do you remember that? Like 100 people were killed, right? Anyway, I got into a little tiff last week with this girl who's an atheist. And anyway, you know, it's funny how people... Oh, I was talking about Desiree Miller, but I forgot what I was talking about her. Anyway, people oftentimes, maybe not oftentimes, but groups that sort of promote inclusion and welcomeness and acceptance oftentimes can be closed-minded, not the most closed-minded, but which is shocking sometimes because you think, well, here they are promoting all this wonderful stuff, and then they're kind of I call it reverse snobbery, and it's like when somebody thinks you're going to be a snob, so they're actually a snob. You know what I'm talking about? Like there might be people that would see me and be like, well, she's wanting something, so I'm going to not talk to her. But then the people that, oh, this is a nice view. People that, so this person was promoting inclusion and saying, there shouldn't be special needs proms. And I said, well, what do you think about, I was genuinely asking, she has a child with special needs. What do you think about like the Special Olympics? She was like, yeah, no. It's like, wow, that to me seems very narrow-minded. I get that everybody should be included. So this real theory of inclusion, which I'm for inclusion. But then I see that she's a member of this Patheos atheist group, like a group of writers, and you cannot join unless you're a non-believer. And so I made the point of like, here you are like a total inclusion advocate, yet you're not going to let me in your group because I believe in God? Like, what if I were in a group and didn't let somebody in there because they didn't believe in God? We would be like, you're awful. See, that's what I'm talking about. I don't like that. Anyway, I just think that's strange. I wouldn't exclude anybody. She was like, well, no, it'd be like if you were in a diabetic group and you didn't have diabetes. I was like, or if you were in a typical group and you had special needs. Right? Then she just deleted the whole text exchange on the Facebook. She got sick of me. And then her friend said I was being a bully. A bully? Where are y'all? Y'all aren't even talking. Have I stunned you into silence? Oh, this woman named Desiree Miller. So she's a Republican in Charlotte. Did I already tell y'all this? And she, my friend Stu Egan's has that blog, Caffeinated Rage. He wrote this her opinion piece she wrote in the Charlotte Observer. She also had something in the darn Chicago Tribune. If she's in the Chicago Tribune, I need to be on the front page. She grew up in Honduras, so I think this is like why the Republican Party loves her, is because she's from Honduras. She's became a citizen, and she's a huge Republican. I'm a Republican. But she wrote this piece about how Republicans are doing so much for education. Okay. That's like saying Hitler did a lot for the Jews. I just don't believe that. I think Republicans are doing other good things, and I think some are trying to help education. But that is not a good blanket statement. Mary Scott, it is not. Mary Scott, too, I was going to see if you wanted to have Russell spend the night on Tuesday night. While you're here, can't hide from my text. She wrote it in the Charlotte Times. But anyway, I tell you one thing I think the Republicans are doing a good job of, in case anybody wants to know or accuse me of being a secretive person, is the hog farmers. Have y'all been following the hog farmers? Well, I have. Vivian, Howard's dad, is a hog farmer, so I got a really nice perspective from her today. And what I didn't realize is this whole hog farm. So North Carolina, 46,000 people work full-time in some way related to the hog industry, which is a big deal. And now these hog farmers are getting sued for having stinky property and stinking up their neighbor's property. So we all think, well, that sounds bad, right? It does sound bad. But I'm going to tell you a couple secrets. And I'm still doing some research, so I haven't written about it yet. There's a fella in Austin, Texas, and he and his partner, she's a lawyer too, they came to Duplin County and started knocking on the doors of people of color. And signed them up for a lawsuit. So what this guy from Austin has done has turned a hog issue into a minority issue. It's really bizarre. And why would he do that? I mean, very calculated. And I tell you what, I don't care if your shit stinks high heaven. Don't let somebody from Austin, Texas come in here and screw up stuff in North Carolina. I mean, that's just shitty. Literally. So anyway, this fella in Austin, Texas, I'll be damned if his house wasn't an Architectural Digest. So of course he has to come down here and get people involved. He needs money, greedy bastard. Anyway, you could be writing about that. And the Republicans are trying to make, North Carolina has this rule, which is great, I think, that you can't get more than $250,000. There's a $250,000 punitive cap. So the jury awarded, there have been maybe 3 cases now that have gone to trial. The jury awarded $50 million. Well, you can't give $50 million in punitive damages. You can only get $250,000. Oh, it's like getting dizzy. And that's a good thing. And you know, you read about the hog farmers and you think they're very likable and are saying things like, you know, no one ever complained. I didn't know. A lot of people have tried new, because granted, there probably could be some new technology and stuff going on. But there are other neighbors that said, it doesn't smell here. And the jury, the judge wouldn't allow the jury to actually go to the people's properties and see what it was really like. So it's just like if I said, my neighbor's blowing pot smoke all over me, and I mean, I'm high. Wouldn't you want proof that they were doing that? Anyway, it might not be a good analogy. I read too many words. I don't know how to say them. So that's annoying. That's an annoying word. I'm sick of using it. How much will the attorney make? Usually they get about half. And the next will be the chicken farmers. And I'll tell you one thing. Eastern North Carolina needs hog farms, and we need farmers. And so it's no joke. Like, what else is in Duplin County? So people really should think about that. And if a person knocks on your door, tell them to get the F out. Anyway, it's one thing if there's really a problem, but that's just not. Anyway, I'm married to an attorney, so it's not like I'm anti-attorney. But I would know more. My family is not going to benefit from a scam, basically, to ruin Eastern North Carolina. It's just me. But I'll have to live with myself. Yes, so look for that. That'll be coming soon. Though today, we have a lot of cleaning up to do because I've done the laundry, not the camp laundry, mind you, that's still in the car from Blair at camp. And it's all piled on the couch because I've decided it's a better use of my time to just fold it all at one time. Now remember, I do have a PhD in research, and I was very good at doing the Euler method, E-U-L-E-R. It looks like Euler, but it's pronounced Euler. And that's when you analyze all the things you need to do, and you plug it in a formula, and it tells you the way to do them. So if you're going to do laundry 3 times per week and put it away 3 days per week, let's say it takes you 3 hours each time. But if you just do it 1 time per week, it'll probably take you 6 because you're traveling to that drawer 1 time instead of 3 times. See? It's very useful. And I didn't really do the calculation, but I know enough in my mind to know that that's true. Yes, making an attorney rich and hurting our farmers. It's the exact same thing that's going on with charter schools. And people get all in a snit and think, well, my child goes to one. Listen, my child might go to one someday. It has nothing to do with that. What it has to do with is the people that are wanting your child to go to a charter school don't want to do it because they like your child. They want to do it because they want to make money. And if it's me and something is good available for me, I want to know what's behind it, right? So anyway, I just think that's transparency. Just be honest. Don't be sneaky and say, well, it's just we want the best. That's what parents want. But if you think that dodo bird that owns all these charter school companies cares about your kids, he doesn't. He does not. And I think that's what's a worry in our government right now with Mark Johnson and all these fools. They're not all fools. But this crowd, I mean, they are in it for themselves. And I've also got some information coming on that Kim Martin stuff. It's a little bit of a worry. Kim Martin getting her $5 million from the General Assembly when it got cut from our schools for an app. An app. 41 positions cut, and she gets $5 million from the General Assembly for an app. You heard me. That's true. That be true, yo. So, anyway. So again, I don't care if you're president of the Republican Party. That should annoy you. I'm not using the word annoy. If I were president of the Republican Party, I would be annoyed. Just like I hate President Trump tweeting. Why should I defend that? Just to like save face? Anyway, I want to know more about that too. Yes, I know. I've got lots of things I need to write about. And the ocean is as pretty as it's been in about 3 weeks. It's a perfect day to go somewhere. And I probably won't even get on the beach because my parents are coming. And the garage is a total shithole. And note to self, I watch these crime shows at night. If you don't want someone to get you, I have a very good recommendation. Sprinkle green plastic army men around your bed, because if you step on those at the night, it's debilitating. Way worse than Legos, because they almost sort of break under your feet. Anyway, Amos had them all out last night. Go to the beach. I can't. I have to clean up. My parents hadn't been here in 2.5 weeks. And my dad is anal. And it's their condo. And I'm going to do that. We were on the beach all day yesterday. Death trap, army men. I know. And I'm going to get somebody to do my hair down here. Lori, I can't get back to Edenton this week. And it looks bad. I'm in Mexico. Ooh, we might swim with whale sharks. Has anybody ever done that? You can do it evidently before they migrate back somewhere. My husband is terrified of sharks. But whale sharks aren't sharks. They're whales. But yesterday, there was a dolphin in the water. A dolphin. And he came flying in from the ocean, like fell getting into the ocean. Out of the ocean. It was like, I saw a shark. I was like, are you sure it wasn't a dolphin? No, it was a shark. It was right over there. He said, over there. I look, and a dolphin. He was like, but it was really big. Have you heard of dolphins attacking people? So anyway, we might do that. Not Amos, though. No thanks. Well, you're a lot of fun. It's sort of expensive. I'm like, well, hell, if he don't want to go, I might as well leave he and Amos at home. And what is wrong with using 911? Why do we need an AP? 911, you don't watch enough crime shows, because if you call 911 and say, somebody's in here, they say, ma'am, you need to calm down. What's your address? He's choking me. Ma'am, I can't hear you. Ma'am, what are you saying? I'm not scared of sharks. I'm scared of alligators and crocodiles. Isn't that weird how people are scared of certain things? Like an alligator getting me makes me feel like I'm going to hyperventilate. But a shark doesn't really bother me. I figure it either gets me or it doesn't. Carry on. I'm going to go work on this laundry and make my bed. Goodbye. Oh, crap. What is all this stuff? There are all these emojis. Look.